For what purpose does the gentleman from Massachusetts seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House suspend the rules and agree to House Resolution 1172.
The clerk will report the title of the resolution.
House Resolution 1172, a resolution recognizing the life and achievements of Will Keith Kellogg.
Pursuant to the rule, the gentleman from Massachusetts, Mr. Lynch, and the gentleman from Missouri, Mr. Lukenmeyer, each will control 20 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Massachusetts.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent that all members may have 5 legislative days within which to revise and extend their remarks and add any extraneous materials.
Without objection, so ordered.
Mr. Speaker, I now yield myself such time as I may consume.
Chair recognizes the gentleman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, I present House Resolution 1172 for consideration. This legislation recognizes the life and achievements of a renowned American industrialist and philanthropist, Mr. Will Keith Kellogg. Introduced by my colleague and friend, Representative Mark Schauer of Michigan on March 11, 2010, House Resolution 1172 was favorably reported out of the Oversight Committee on May 20, 2010 by unanimous consent, and additionally, this legislation enjoys the support of over 50 members of Congress. At this time, I would like to yield for 5 minutes to the lead sponsor of this resolution, Mr. Schauer of Michigan.
The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Lynch. I rise in support of House Resolution 1172 to commemorate the extraordinary life of Will Keith Kellogg. WK Kellogg represents the embodiment of the American dream. With an education only through the 6th grade, Mr. Kellogg rose out of the stockyards of Battle Creek, my hometown in Michigan, to become one of the most influential industrialists and philanthropists in American history. Now in the 150th year since his birth, through both the Kellogg Company and the WK Kellogg Foundation, he continues to touch the lives of millions throughout the country and the world. Through the invention of the ready-to-eat breakfast cereal in 1906, WK Kellogg provided widespread access to a broad spectrum of vitamins and minerals for the first time. Think about this. WK Kellogg stood up an entire industry that didn't exist before he invented the cornflake in Battle Creek, Michigan. Breakfast cereal has grown to become one of the most widely eaten foods around the world. In many countries, fortified cereal breakfast foods represent one of the few readily available sources of essential micronutrients. A nutrition and health visionary, WK Kellogg hired the first dietitian to work in the food industry, was the first to print nutrition labels on packaging, and believes strongly in educating consumers to empower them to make good nutritional choices. With the number of obese and overweight children on the rise, WK Kellogg's message about nutritional awareness continues to resonate throughout our country. WK Kellogg formed a foundation which bears his name. During the Great Depression, he announced, "I'll invest my money in people." Today, through the Kellogg Foundation, his legacy lives on. From the $64 million he set aside to ease the suffering of children during the Great Depression, the Kellogg Foundation now boasts assets of over $8 billion and grants upwards of $200 million each year to charitable organizations, especially those aimed at benefiting children. WK Kellogg would be proud of the Kellogg Company's work to attack childhood obesity and the Kellogg Foundation's grant-making to promote education and health and eliminate poverty and racism. As we commemorate the 150th anniversary of his life, we should remind ourselves of the increasing importance that a healthy lifestyle plays in our lives. And also remember that in America, anything is possible. Mr. Speaker, I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman yields back and reserves. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Missouri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield as much time as I may consume.
The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you. I rise today in support of House Resolution 1172, recognizing the life and achievements of Will Keith Kellogg. Will Keith Kellogg was known worldwide as WK Kellogg, a great American marketer, philanthropist, patriot, and great revolutionary of the health food industry. Mr. Kellogg found a process. Mr. Kellogg and his brother ran the Battle Creek Sanitarium, a local health resort where he became interested in nutrition. Mr. Kellogg found a process to use corn grain to create light flakes that made many guests in the sanatorium that they enjoyed. Although his brother was skeptical, Mr. Kellogg said, "I sort of feel in my bones that we are preparing a campaign for a food which will eventually prove to be the leading cereal in the United States, if not the world." Kellogg was also the first company to put a nutritional label on its products, signifying the importance of nutrition in everyday living. Mr. Kellogg worked long hours to get his products to the market. He began to manufacture products in 18 countries and sell them to people in 180 different countries, with production facilities in 14 states. He believed in the hands-on approach by walking through factories and observing operations daily. He was the first in the corporate world to offer extended benefits and services to his workers. He was particularly interested in helping children. In 1927, when he opened a nursery at his main plant to accommodate the needs of his female employees with children. In 1930, the WK Kellogg Child Welfare Foundation was established with the first donation consisting of more than $66 million in Kellogg Company stock and other investments from Kellogg himself. The foundation believes the children are the world's future, and they depend on families, communities, and society at large to nurture and protect them. When reflecting on his success, Mr. Kellogg once said, "I confess at the time I little realized the extent to which the food business might develop in Battle Creek." Kellogg made sure to establish and maintain a partnership between the small town of Battle Creek and its quickly growing company. During the Great Depression, Kellogg showed his patriotism and love of his country and community by his concerns for his fellow workers' welfare. He created more shifts so that more family men could be hired, directing his cereal plant to work 4 shifts lasting 6 hours, helping the Battle Creek community. WK Kellogg was an American entrepreneur and breakfast revolutionary. He stressed the importance of American-made and American duty. Upon retiring from his company in 1938, he remained a chairman of the board and very involved in Kellogg's placement in the market. Mr. Kellogg was diagnosed with glaucoma and spent the last of his life blind, but continued to visit his company's plants with a seeing eye dog. When he passed away in 1951, WK Kellogg left America a legacy of healthy living, patriotism, and entrepreneurism that still endures today. With that, Mr. Speaker, I would, as seeing no other speakers, I urge the support of passage of House Resolution 1172, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from Massachusetts.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate the gentleman's kind words and also the words of the gentleman from Michigan, Mr. Schauer. I would just add one last point, and that is that the Kellogg Company also played an instrumental role during World War II, as the company for the first time provided packaged rations for the United States Armed Forces. In addition, during World War II, the Kellogg Company engineering personnel made use of the company's production facilities in support of the United States Armed Forces engineering efforts. And in recognition of the company's contribution to the American war effort, Mr. Kellogg received the Army-Navy E Flag for Excellence. With that, I just ask members on both sides of the aisle to support Mr. Schauer in his resolution, and I yield back the balance of our time.
All time has expired. The question is, will the House suspend the rules and agree to House Resolution 1172? Those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. In the opinion of the Chair, 2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended. The resolution is agreed to. And without objection, the motion to reconsider.
Mr. Speaker, I object to the vote on the grounds that a quorum is not present and make the point of order that a quorum is not present and request the vote of the yeas and nays.
Pursuant to Clause 8 of Rule 20 and the Chair's prior announcement, further proceedings on this motion will be postponed.